Hello everyone. How are you all today? I'm speaking with you from a beautiful village in Italy called Vidracco. And I think Vidracco in Italian means Via del Draco, which means the path. Via is the path to the dragon. So today I felt I wanted to share with you a little bit of my journey in a very, very, very special place. So this place is localized in the north of Italy, Turin. Benvenuto in Italia! Hi Gina! Hi there, Happia! And for those of you who don't know that place, for the Italian people it's a very weird place. There's a lot of rumors about what's going on here. So it's called Vidracco. And this is a church, and as you can see on the church here, hello Anne from Norway. I don't know if you can see properly. What do we see? We see St. George. St. George beating up the dragon. And it's called Vidracco, the path to the dragon. So what is the dragon? I'm just gonna show you so my face is not that important. What is the dragon? The dragon is the symbol of the etheric element. So what is ether? So for those of you who don't know much about spirituality and esoteric knowledge, life is, not life, but creation is organized around the four powerful principles. The principles of earth, principle of water, the principle of air, and the principle of fire. Yeah, and this is new. This was new since eon. So today is going to be a special live where I would like to introduce you to a very special place. I would like you guys to really measure what I'm going to share with you, because this is a very, very special place. So yeah, the four elements have been reused by modern science, and they segment it through exactly the same distinction. So the earth element is now called the solid state. Solid. Then you have the liquid, and liquid is the water state. And then you have the air, which is the gas state. And then you have the fire, which is the plasma state. So what the ancient civilization used to know perfectly well, like earth, water, air, fire, has been now rebaptized. So we haven't discovered anything. Science didn't discover anything. That was new since the beginning of civilization. That reality is segmented in four different aspects. From the most dense aspect of it, which is the earth, to the less dense of it, which is the plasma, the fire. And if you don't trust me, try to grab some fire. Try to grab some fire, and you're going to feel that there's a difference between moving your hand in the air, where your hand can still have a resistance with the air, and moving your hand above fire, when you're going to feel that there's absolutely no resistance, which is very interesting, because the fire is a plasma. It's a space that is void of any matter. There's no matter in fire. So why do I share all this with you? Because today we see a lot of pain in the world. We see a lot of suffering. We see a lot of chaos. And for most of the people who are ignorant, they think that chaos is natural. And it is. They're right. They're entirely right. Chaos is absolutely natural. Hello? Yeah. But it's not because it's natural that it has to be irrationally used. That's the nuance. Because chaos is an entire part of existence. Like we have been programmed to believe that chaos is dangerous. Well, staying still is dangerous. So balance is dangerous. It's not the question about is it dangerous or not. The question is about what are you using? How do you use chaos? How do you use balance? Just going to show you this one because this one is a very beautiful one. So in this very particular place called Vidraco, as you can see, there are sculptures all over the place. And this one is one that really attracted me. I really love this one. For whatever reason, this creature that I never really heard about before is half fish and half, let's say, rooster or eagle. But in the meantime, it looks like it's in the cloud, but we don't know if it's cloud or water. Like, and that's what I really love with this thing. It allows you to interpret it the way you want. And what I see in this picture is humanity. I see the two sides of the same coin fighting for existence. One is what I know, and one is what I need to become, what I need to do, what I need to be. This is what we think is right, and that has a way to express itself in reality, that has been educated, that has been transmitted, and this is that inner knowledge, that inner truth, that everyone get access inside of us, but we choose not to listen. And this constant balance fight between what we think we know and what we truly know but we don't trust, we don't believe, is responsible for what we call chaos. So chaos isn't just the state of confusion, because it is a state of confusion when you cannot discern the difference between what has to be done and what you think you should do. This is what we call state of chaos, state of confusion. People are confused. And it's when you're confused that you are making the wrong choice. And most of us will say, and so what? Making the wrong choice is not a big deal. Well, as I said last time, in the last conversation that we had, the only difference between a human being and an animal, or plant, or a crystal, for those of you who believe that crystals have a consciousness, is the capacity to choose and the amplitude, magnitude of the choice that we can make. So literally what makes us humans is our capacity to discern the right choice from the good choice. The good choice is the choice that makes me feel comfortable. It's good. It's matching my belief system. It's matching what I think I should be doing. But is it really what I have to do? No. Most of the time, no. And sometimes, yes. Sometimes it's matching it. Sometimes, most of the time, no, it's not. Look how beautiful it is. And so, and just say hello to everyone. Be careful with our government, doesn't have an accident, disappear, stay safe. Thank you guys. Thanks for... I just would like to address this one, by the way, quickly. Like, just before. Okay, that's the dragon. That's the dragon. And the people here made a choice. They made the choice to control the dragon. And to bring beauty to the dragon. Not to fight the dragon, to be aware of it, to control it. Because you can't kill it. You can't kill the dragon. You can't kill the government. You can just take control of it. You can't kill the dark side of yourself. You can't kill your shadow. Your shadow is a part of you. And it has a function. And it's there to teach you things. It's there to bring you in situations where you're going to have an opportunity to learn. So for those of you who are scared about what could happen to me, like, please don't be scared. Life isn't that much about. Oh, sorry, I can't see. Wait a second. What's happening here? Yeah, my phone is playing weird things. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, life is not that much about being safe. Life is about taking measured risk, doing what has to be done. And when you do what has to be done, surprisingly, things happen the way they have to happen. Most of the time, not the way you want them to happen, but the way they have to happen. So now I'm about to come into that special place that I wanted to introduce you to. And I would like you to stay with me a little bit so I can tell you a little bit more about what it is. If you have any question, by the way, you can just answer. Like I already said a lot of information. If anything is not clear, can you just ask me some points, like clarify some point? Thank you, Dawn. So where am I? As I said in the beginning of that video, it is called Vidraco in the North Italy. And in my understanding, this is probably the most, let's say, the most important spiritual place on earth. For those of you who are interested in spirituality. This is a place of wisdom. This is a place of true knowledge. This is a place where you can express freely yourself and learn and grow and let magic happen, basically. So I'm going to speak more and more about that place because I feel that this is what has to be done. And not because I'm a part of that community, but also because it is time. It is time to rehabilitate consciousness in our paradigm. We spent way too many years believing that matter was the end product, that action was voided of intention, that meaning couldn't be implemented into our actions. And this needs to stop. We need to reincorporate those notions of meaning, of goal, of transcendence into who we are. Or we're just going to go in annihilation. And there will be no point even screaming or crying or whatever, because we knew we did wrong. So let's explain a little bit what happened. For years and years and years, religion had the exclusivity of explaining what was going on in the other world. And the politics, the kings, had the exclusivity of the control of what we call matter, so-called matter. So for those of you who still believe that we live in a physical world, let me repeat that. For those of you who still believe that we live in a physical world, I will invite you to research the notion of the atomic void. Okay, I would probably make another live to speak about this, because I had that beautiful conversation with some people, and it seems that it's time now that my audience, at least, will start to envisage their relationship with reality and their understanding of reality in a whole different way. Because what's happening today in the Yellow Vest is going to happen all over the world. It's not a political crisis, it's not a economical crisis. It is a spiritual crisis that is going on. People are waking up to the fact that they are not happy. Yes, that's a good point. It's a good start. But they don't know why. They're like, oh, we want more money. Well, are we sure that more money is really going to buy happiness? Are we sure then that having a bigger retreat is going to bring happiness? Are we sure that currently we are happy, or we are exploring the state of being happy? And that's a question that most of us doesn't even want to ask. We're like, well, I'm having a job, I'm having my family, I'm surviving. I'm in survival mode. And because I'm in survival mode, I don't have a second to even question my reality. And this is exactly what this system wants from us. They absolutely don't want us to have a second to just rest. Deep breath. Look around and say, is it the best that I can expect from my life? This is what they're the most afraid of. Because as soon as the slave realizes that he's a slave, then suddenly he doesn't want, not that he doesn't want to be slave, because a lot of people would still want to be a slave, but he will take that opportunity to even question its state. And that's exactly what the elite doesn't want us to be. They don't want us to stop for a second and make the choice, the conscious choice to remain a slave or to get access to a better aspect of who we are. So more than ever, it is important for all of us to slow down, deep breath, being present in this body, in this moment, in this present in this present, and question, what do I expect from my life? What do I want from my life? Because the simple fact of stopping for a second and realizing, not reacting, not sitting down and waiting for things to happen, it's a very fine-tuned aspect. Okay, you have one extreme, which is pure reaction, and this is exactly what governments and agencies are specialized in. They just like put a bomb, so you react. And so the reaction is one extreme. The other extreme is just to sit down and wait and see, and have total let it go, like total loss of power. So what is the right action? The right balance is the true right action. And this is very difficult. It is very, very difficult to fine-tune, because like one aspect of us, which is the survival mode, is always reacting, and the other one, which is the other opposite, doesn't want to deal with anything because it's too scary, because every action induces reaction, and every action induces other reaction, and so on. So those chains of reaction are bloody scary, and most of us are even afraid of them. They don't want that. They don't want to be taken by those actions. For example, I need to pay my rent. Well, okay, you need to pay your rent. What are you going to choose to pay your rent? Are you going to choose a job where you could compromise your integrity, but it's going to give you satisfaction, security, and everything? Or are you going to take a job where you can actually fit your value and you can actually balance your integrity, but it's going to bring a lot of instability in your life? Very complicated topic. So I'm still amazed of the reaction that I see from people after the live that I did last time about like what the police is doing. And I'm not judging anyone. Like I'm amazed to see the reactions. So yeah, they're bastards. Yeah, they are disgusting. They are beating up people on the floor, citizens that they should serve. But what those reactions are telling you, and what they're telling me that there are people who still do not understand that this could be you. That what you see, which is apparently shocking for you, is an aspect of you. That aspect that push you to put your personal interest prior to your value, prior to your integrity, prior to your moral. It could be any of us. Every time someone is working for government, you take that risk. I don't know how many of you who are listening to that video are working for the government, but every time you work for someone that has authority over you, you take the risk of putting your body in that situation where you will have to choose between putting your moral before your interest or putting your interest before your moral. So please, guys, don't be so prompt to judge others. Don't be so prompt to judge others, because you never know in which position one day you could be. I'm sure those people, when they were young, when they were like playing police and thief, like never thought that protecting the weak, honoring the elders and all that could bring them into a position where they could have to choose between honoring themselves and honoring their oath, basically. But this is how life works. Life can bring you into spaces where you will have to make those choices. So it's not that much about condemning and judging and everything. It's about realizing that what is happening in this reality today could happen to me as well. And I think this is what's going on with the Yellow Vest movement. The Yellow Vest movement is just the beginning of a spiritual revolution that is fed up of letting interest, which in that case are private interests, governing moral. And it needs to be said, it needs to be addressed, especially from France, because let's make a little bit of history. France was one of the first countries which brought the notion of atheism to the world. René Descartes brought the Cartesianism. Cartesianism is basically the idea with materialism. Let's use more materialism than Cartesianism. Materialism is the idea that this is dead. You see? This is dead. Then this is dead. Okay? That this on the floor, this is dead. That this whole reality is dead. That this, my body, is dead. But for whatever reason, consciousness just pop up. And science actually is going to decide if this has consciousness, if this has consciousness, if this has consciousness. And this is a very interesting concept. It's a very interesting concept. So we live in a dead matter reality, where reality is basically empty of consciousness. But for whatever miracle, consciousness can emerge into my body, and consciousness can interact with something that is devoid of it. That's what atheism means. That's what materialism means. It means that we live in a dead world, in a dead universe, in which consciousness happens that absolutely no scientist can explain, because of course it's a little bit complex for them to explain that the definition that they put in place, which is denying the notion of consciousness in this reality, needs now to explain what consciousness is. It's like, well, good luck with that. So why I'm saying that, because for years and years and years, religion has the exclusivity of explaining what life is. By the way, there's a difference between life and consciousness. I don't want to go too deep inside, but basically, in my view, life is energy that flows. Consciousness is what gives direction to energy. So, for example, in that plant, we have an energy that flows through. Okay, the energy going from here to there, and it's flowing through. And this is called energy. How the energy is going to flow, which decision is the plant is going to make that choice to go in this direction or this direction and moving there and there. Most of scientific would try to say that this is just random. Well, this is saying that this tiny little creature doesn't have freedom of choice. And this is not true, because in many opportunities we can see plants adjusting to their environment. For example, if there's too much wind, the plant will counterbalance its growth by adapting. If there's an electric line, the plants will react to it. So there's many proof, but science loves denying what doesn't fit into its paradigm. So basically science will say that, oh, this doesn't have consciousness because we cannot measure it. Well, let me introduce you to that magic place that actually design elements that can allow plants to express itself and speak with us. Yes, you heard me, speaking with us. So I don't know if the coverage will still work, so if it's not, bear with me. So I'm going to show you something interesting in that magic place. A technology that allows plants to sing. So I don't know if you can still see me properly, because I can't see my signal. So I'm sure a few of you are not really understanding where I'm going and what is related to the Yellow Vest movement, but you will. So in this place, you can actually find, let's call it technologies. And those technologies, which I'm sure you mustn't be very familiar with, this is called a technology. This is called a technology. And there's many of those technologies there. It is technology because it's coming from a wisdom that has been lost for years. And that was allowing energy to be channeled in a specific way. And this knowledge has been lost and recently remembered. This is artifact, this is ancient objects, this is Selfika technology. And I don't know if you can start to hear, there's a kind of music in the air, and that music is coming from someone that is welcoming me. I don't know if you can hear it. So the music that you can hear is coming from that plant here. So how does it work? Here you put a device, you plug it to that leaf, and then you plug it to the roots. And this machine is going to register and record the electroconductivity of the plant. And if the plant opposes resistance to the flow of energy, this will be considered as a stress. If the plant releases the energy and allows the energy to flow freely, then it will be considered as a positive thing. So what do we know about consciousness? What do we truly know about who we are? Again, as I said earlier, there's two dragons inside of us. There's a dragon that has been educated in this reality, and this is the one that is speaking with you right now. He's using language, meaning, concept, symbols to express opinions and share information. But there's another dragon inside of me, and this one is the one that has access to infinite amount of truth. The problem is that when you have access to infinite amount of truth and you want to choose one of them, like how do you do that? And this is where the free will comes. The free will is the capacity to discern from the infinite amount of everything that could be said or can be done, which action do you want to do? So what's happening in France right now is a huge revolution, and we don't measure yet the outcome of it. The place that I'm in right now claim that they worked spiritually for years to allow this event to happen. They predicted this event, not just them, like, of course they're not the only one doing it. Like, all the people who are working, let's say, for the light, are trying to bring that light to the world. And there's a collective responsibility in participating into it first and sharing this perspective with the world. There's a collective responsibility. It's not just about judging, understanding, it's also about what do you do. It's about what, are you going in the same direction, are you going to the opposite direction? So anyone has any question about that plant singing stuff, for example? Because as I said before, if we live that much in a world that is devoid, look at this beauty. If all this is dead, basically, doesn't have consciousness, well, are we sure that this is true? Are we that sure that all of this, all of who I am, all of the universe is basically a dead space in which consciousness happened to happen for whatever reason? Because if it's not, then the notion of atheism, which is basically saying that reality hasn't been created, well, that's a very interesting one. Reality hasn't been created. No. There's no God. There's nothing, no matter how you define it, there's nothing that has created that thing. It just spontaneously happened from nowhere, and it's basically dead. Like, think about that for a minute. Are we sure that we are living in a spontaneous dream that is devoid of any free will that we call reality? Because if it is not, then we have to admit that there's a bigger plan, that there's something going on, that there's a responsibility. There's an inner responsibility as a person, as a conscious being, to participate to that world, to interact with this world, to be a part of it. And this responsibility, which is very, very scary, is the source of the RIC, the Yellow Vest, and every movement of emancipation. It is that risk of embracing the responsibility of making choice and being present in this reality. And it's a bloody scary sensation, especially when you always thought that, well, reality doesn't really have any responsibility because, you know, if you get sick, there's going to be someone taking care of you. If you have a plumbing problem, then there's going to be a plumber that's going to take care of you. If you have a financial problem, that's fine, a social worker will take care of you. Well, when you've been programmed for years and years and years and years to believe that someone will always come there to take care of you, you could actually believe that you have absolutely no responsibility in that space. But if you have to admit that reality cannot be devoid of consciousness, and that because you are conscious and currently listening to me and currently hearing what I'm saying, you also co-share that responsibility with me, then therefore the other are here to help you. They're not here to do the job for you. And that's something that needs to be really addressed. When we see people beating up others, are you sure that through your actions you are not allowing one day someone around you to make exactly the same choice just because you didn't do what has to be done when you could have done it? All right. I'm waiting for questions, maybe. Nope. Everyone is very quiet. I hope it's a good sign. All right, so if no one has more questions, I think I'm just going to end here. I would like to share a little bit, just before you go, I'd like to share a little bit about what's happening to me. So I'm starting to get some real familial trouble, let's say. My wife is very concerned about how I'm more focusing, trying to save the world than focusing on how to pay the bill. So that's why recently I didn't make as many lives as I wanted. First, because I'm very respectful of your time, guys. So I want that every time I'm doing a live, you're going to feel that you really get deep insight and deep, profound reflection. Not just updating you about what's happening in the yellow vest, because I think like anyone can do that, but it's more my blueprint, it's more my analysis of the situation that will always try to look it from above, taking more distance, looking from another perspective, another spectrum, and try to enlighten others through what I understood so far in my existence, in my journey. So I'm not going to do live every day if I don't feel that there's important things, but in the meantime, I also need to be cautious of my state, my emotional state, because it's not easy for me right now. I haven't worked for a while. My family is in Australia, so I think it's time for me to dare to ask for help. So if you guys have any idea of how I could generate some funds online, making money online, trying to convert what I know myself into a way that can allow me to generate funds to go back to my family. So here I am. I'm asking for help from a space of humility. So if anyone has any idea, if anyone knows, if I could find a job in Sydney, if you know someone that lives in Sydney and can help me to find a job in Sydney, so I could come closer to my family, or ideally if I could find a job from home so I can continue doing my work, my spiritual work, my work of bringing light to the world, consciousness. Just get in touch with me. It's starting to get more and more important for me. And that's it. So thank you everyone for being there. What's happening, as I said, simply my wife wants me to focus on my family, which is fair, I guess. And it's difficult for me to do what I do. And in the meantime, being a part of that world, which is, as I said earlier, is very difficult, like finding a place where you can honor yourself, your value, your moral, not participating to the destruction of the world, constructing, building something better, and in the meantime, living in a world where money is generated by debt. It's owned by psychopaths. They create it and they take it from us, giving us the illusion that we have choice. So it's time to wake up to that reality, time to do something, time to address it. And meanwhile, we're here to help each other. I hope I helped you a little bit today to understand a bit better yourself. If you guys feel that you can help me in return, just write me a message in that group, in that page. Share this video as much as you can if you find that this has some value. And get in touch with me. Oh, we have a question. How does the technology for hearing the music come from plant work? So as I explained, plant... Okay, you see this? This is you. This is exactly like you, okay? So also some people were asking me, why do I have long hairs? I have long hairs because trees have long branches. There is absolutely no difference between the branches of a tree and the hair on my head. They are antennas. And as you can see, the shape of my hand and the top of the tree have the same geometry. It's based on the same pattern, as you can see. The energy, which is going from the thinner to the thicker, is then going to go to the center and then continue to the ground. So basically, this is me. This is an antenna. It's converting sun energy, light energy through differential of potential, and the higher the difference of potential is, the more energy is going to flow to the earth. So this is the pure manifestation of solidified energy, basically. And it's such a shame that science doesn't even understand that. They think this is wood. This is not wood. This is a tree. A tree is a living conscious being. We just completely lost our path. We completely lost ourselves. We completely disconnected ourselves. How did we disconnect ourselves? There's two ways. The first one is called this. It's a fucking shoes. Plastic sole shoes. A plastic sole shoes separate you from the ground. If you're not connected to the ground, you cannot allow the energy to flow from your hairs to the ground. The way it happened since the existence of humanity, and the way it happened to every single living species on Earth. No matter if it's an insect, a bird, mammals, they're all connected to the ground. We are the only species floating on the ground, disconnected from the Earth. And we are now wondering, why are we disconnected from our environment? Why do we don't understand what's going on? Well, stop using your shoes, walk barefoot on the grass, and you will understand. Touch a tree with your barefoot, and you will understand. Feel the energy flowing through your body when you touch a tree, and you will understand. You will remember what it is to be human, because we forgot what it is to be human. We think we're here to make money, to have a job, to kill people, blah, blah, blah. Well, no, we're not. We are here to explore this reality and to explore it the right way. Look at a cat, look at a dog, look at a butterfly. They all touch the ground, all of them. Even the birds, they can fly a little bit and then they have to go on a branch. And when they're on the branch, they're connected to the ground, because this is an antenna and it's conducting energy all along it. So what the plant machine is doing, it's measuring the flow of energy that comes from the ground to the branches and communicate with the plant, because that's how energy flows. Your heartbeat is basically the way your body is going to push the blood and allow the blood to go to your body. That's exactly what's happening into a tree. It's a little bit more subtle, but since 1960, I think, we know how to do it. And we actually use that to verify if someone is lying or not. The lying machine used this technology. They were using plants, and the plant actually could tell if you're stressed or not. Even if no other aspect of your physiological body was expressing it, the plant knew if you were lying, because it's a very, very subtle aspect of the self. So by using this generation, this machine, we can record the response of the plant. And by recording the response of the plant, we can translate that into a signal, and that signal can be interpreted as music. And it's going so far now, maybe one day I'll share that with you, it's going so far now that even plants can create now sentences. They can learn to pronounce sentences. So when you go in a room and you have the right program and the plant has been educated, you listen to that, the plant has been educated, the plant learned the language. If I'm going into the room, the plant will say, "Hello, Roman, how are you?" And then the plant will say, "I'm well," or something like this, or "I'm not well," or "I'm stressed," or something like this. She will use some words, because we could allow her to communicate with us, because when she was saying something, my physiological body was responding to it, and we could engage in that interaction. I know it sounds crazy, but there's some very serious study from neurologists and biologists, people who are very specialized in neurons, who are starting to understand that roots operate like neurons. Are you surprised? I'm not. Anyway, so let me check. Thanks for the heart and the thumbs up. Worry about making the broadcast. We understand quality versus quantity. Thank you. Start meditating, folks. Yeah, meditation is essential. Being present. In the book Secret of Life, Plants Understand Romance is talking about, yes, Secret Life of Plants, yes. Secret Life of, if you go on YouTube, I think there's even done a movie, Secret Life of Plants. Grounding connection with the earth. This is why animals sense things, don't because they are tuned with the earth. Yes, animals are touching the earth, so the instinct, which is the connection to the ground, is more present in them than it is in us. Thank you, Russell, for staying that late. Hi, Jonathan. You're putting out wonderful stuff, Roman. Keep trusting the universe, God. Yep. Thank you. So thanks everyone for being present with me, wherever you are on earth. Please share this video to whoever you feel needs to hear those words and needs to expand their understanding of who they are. Because if we are ignorant of who we truly are, how are we going to manifest a better world? Like, it's not coherent. We need to start questioning truly who we are, what we want to bring in this reality. And for that, there's just a hard job that needs to be done. And only you can do it for yourself, no one else. All right? And if anyone knows how I could generate some funds online to support my family and live the life that I would love to live, supporting all of you to become a better person while I'm doing my best to be a good man, just get in touch with me. All right? Thanks very much. Love you all. And please don't hesitate to watch that live again and share it. There's a lot of information. And watch it again and again, because there's a lot of information. Take care of you, all of you, and see you soon. I will probably do more videos of that place and probably even interview people living there. So get ready for the journey. Bye-bye.